Yeah, well, those young guys have to score for us and contribute. You can't just eat up minutes and have empty minutes out there. And Michael and Jacob Hammond both did an excellent job on the glass the first half. I think they had 10 rebounds between the two of them. And Michael was scoring and doing some very good things. And we need that, and especially Ed was so strong in the second half. We're just trying to get by with his foot, so we're trying to limit his time. And to have 10 points in 9 minutes is really good. So hopefully we'll be able to use him tomorrow again, too.
Far back on the left.
Tim, Jeff Patricus from the Journal-Sentinel. You mentioned Greg Gard. You faced them once this year without Siobhan, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
What's going to be the key this time? And are you surprised how it played out for Gard getting the job full-time?
I'm not surprised. I mean, the culture is there at Wisconsin. I mean, that's been well established. Dick did it. Bo had his own and did it. And, of course, Greg has, been a pupil of Bo's forever. And Saul, Phillips, who was my assistant for a number of years at North Dakota State, we got to know those guys very well. So it didn't surprise me because Greg's a friend. And I'm happy for him more than anything. And so, I think that there's always residuals, too, after those two spectacular years in the Final Four. I was a little surprised they struggled early, but I think there were so many unknowns, like what's Coach going to do and what. And once there was clarity and you saw Greg as a head coach now and you felt his leadership, those players felt his leadership, you could see that they took to it. And then he went back to the swing. And, like I said, all those kids ran, you don't go to a high school game and not see the swing usually, or even an AU event. And it starts with that elite camp they have where they make them all run it, I think. So, that was something I think that was natural for some of those guys and gave them that identity, that was well established a long time ago, too.
Go far on this side.
Yeah, Tim, you guys, I think the score was tied at 43, and you guys ran on 17-2 run. What happened in that span? Well,
a couple of things. One is, obviously we got a lot of stops, and so I thought our defense was all right. We had some transition. I thought we really got the ball down the floor quickly 2 or 3 times. And then Andrew White hit a couple threes consecutively that helped separate that a little bit, too. And when you have transition and you're making threes, obviously, I think and you're getting stops, good things are going to happen.
Back on this side on the aisle.
Hey, Tim, how might this have played out without Ty Webster's first half performance?
Well, he had it, so you can't take it away from him.
You can't.
So we needed, Ty was really strong the first half, and we did need that because we were awful at the rim. One thing about Coach Jordan and Rutgers, they weren't going to give us anything. Like, Siobhan was not going to get anything clean on the rim. They were going to throw bodies on him. When he did have it clean, they were going to grab his. So it was the old Jordan rules, and should have been, right? If you want to advance, that's what's got to happen. And I think our guys were a little bit taken aback. And what do you expect? These are desperate times for teams. It's a one-and-done deal. So I think because we weren't very good at the rim, but Ty is a power guard. I think he was better that way, too. So we certainly needed what he did. He had a strong first half. Our centers were strong on the glass, which really helped. Got us some second chances, too, with some hustle plays there. And then I think everybody played pretty well the second half, obviously, especially Siobhan, Ed Murrow had huge numbers in small amounts of time.
Here on the aisle.
Tim, do you think you could get Michael going like he did tonight? Was that design, some of those plays? Or
yeah, they were
something that kind of evolved.
No, they were putting 2 on the ball. So then somebody's going to run free. And if he gets to the rim, a lot of times the ball finds you. And I thought he did a good job, and the guys delivered it. Ty delivered it. Ty's a little bigger and stronger. Glenn did a nice job, too, though, I thought at times. So it's just, it was a product of they were not going to let the ball beat us that way. And so now you've got to go to, your next read, and it's hard, like especially for our smaller guards, and Benny and Glenn. But Ty did a nice job finding them.
Last one, right down here in front.
Garrett Seppian, Daily Targum. When you guys came to Piscataway and played Rutgers at the Rack back in January, 30-point win, you said that, one piece of advice that you had for Eddie was, for his players to get healthy. Now they had 9 scholarship players tonight, still beat them by double digits. What piece of advice would you give to Eddie now going into the offseason and that team?
I heard some of his comments today, and he's got good guys sitting out, and he's got some young guys that have learned from this, and I would expect them to be much, much stronger next year. I don't lend advice much to anybody usually but the refs. And but I would just, as they get healthy and continue forward, this league is, it's hard to punch through. Like everybody thought, oh, it's early in the year, Wisconsin. Well, look where they are, still tied for 4th. And so you just got to hang in there and battle because it is a rock solid lead. Everybody knows how to coach. It's hard to get an easy basket. And so you just got to get players, right? You got to get guys who can compete at this level. And I think he thinks he's got them. So that'll be good. It's good for the league.